99.1 FM CKXS. It's time once again for the All About Real Estate show. We do it every Saturday morning. It's brought to you by Riverside Realty. Pete Allaer is our guest who joins us every Saturday. How you doing today?
Good, Greg. How are you?
Well, I'm a little excited about this 50-50 draw that's just going crazy right now.
Yes. The Chatham Kent Health Alliance Ignite 50-50. Is that what they're calling it?
You got her right on the head. Yep. It's a big one. That's a big fundraiser for the Chatham Kent Health Alliance.
Yeah, I've heard it's upwards to like close to 80 grand is the prize. Is that the 80 and you get half of that, or is it 160 you get 80?
Correct. 160 and you get 80,000.
Wow, that's awesome. No, that's good to bring that up because that's a great fundraiser. I mean, it's obviously a pretty good incentive for people buying tickets, especially the people that feel lucky out there. I mean, 80 grand, that wouldn't hurt.
Go a long way. You could buy a nice house with that, maybe, or
do some renovations. Good down payment, anyways.
Good point. So close to 80 grand right now. That's the 50-50 with the Chatham Kent Health Alliance, and I know the hospital's near and dear to your heart. So.
Yes, absolutely. We all. Here in Walsburg, I think it's near and dear to a lot of our hearts. Mm-hmm. We've really fought for it over the years, and it seems as though it's been a little more stable there in the last couple of years, which is good. I mean. And I always hear how great the nurses in Emerge are. I mean, I'm not sure I know any of them in there or not, but
you are buttering your bread well.
Hey, you know it.
And by the way, so on Tuesday, they'll be selling tickets right outside our studio.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So if you want to get a ticket Tuesday, you can bring cash, or you can also get them online at ckha-raffle.5050central.com, or just go to our website for all the details on that.
Great. Everybody get out here and buy some tickets.
You got her. Hope to see everyone Tuesday. In the meantime, here on this Saturday, let's chat a little bit about where do you want to go today? We were talking kind of off air, and I think some people, when it comes to selling and buying, there is some confusion on how kind of the market is being handled right now.
Yeah, I thought I had a few questions this last week or so about the whole, holding offer thing that's going on right now. And you get a listing and holding offers and viewings for 5 or 6 days and then offers. So a lot of it seems as though a lot of the buyers are a little confused on how that whole system kind of plays out. So, I mean, I understand it's not a fun thing for buyers. And it is a confusing thing. I mean, especially we're not used to this. I mean, all of Ontario has had this now for a few years, and this is just happening here now. But basically, it comes down to you list a property. The sellers, obviously want as much as they can get, and I always say, I try to list it on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Give you like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the local people to view the property. Let's face it, we have lots of out-of-town people that are coming this way, upwards to more than 40% now. So you got sort of that Saturday, Sunday for anyone else, or even locals that are working during the week.
Right.
Then I like to leave a Monday to get everybody get their ducks in a row, and then offers on Tuesday. That's what's going on. I wanted to talk a little bit about the actual offer process when the time comes. So, for example, we'll say, okay, offers Tuesday at 5 o'clock.
Sure.
So if it's, in our office, it's my listing and there's 5 offers on a property. So we bring the sellers in, we sit down, we go over all 5 offers. So we open one at a time randomly. We open the offers.
And everyone that's offering doesn't know what the other person is offering, correct?
Exactly. They have no idea. They do know, however, that there are multiple offers. Okay. They do also know that is it 1 offer, is it 3 offers, is it 5 offers. Okay. I mean, sometimes when it gets to like 4 or 5 offers, sometimes you'll get like a random offer come in right at the last minute. So it goes from 5 to 6. But they are going to know pretty close to number of offers.
Right.
So we open them all up. And then we analyze them. After we open them all up, we then analyze them. So I go through it with my sellers and say, okay, and when you come to offers, you've got sort of 3 things. You got price, conditions, and closing date. Those are the 3 important things of the offer.
Right.
Obviously, price is normally the most important. Conditions would be second. And then closing, well, that's usually negotiable.
And a condition that might affect them from picking that offer could be that they have to sell a house.
Absolutely.
They have to get financing. Could be that they want a house inspection.
That's right.
Those are all things that they would consider about. So sometimes you actually could have someone who walks in with maybe $10,000 less, but no conditions because they are putting in, what do you call that, a cash deal?
Yeah, that's called a cash offer, no conditions, right?
Right.
And that's the other thing that I want to clarify. When we say cash, okay, you don't have to walk in with a suitcase full of cash here. Like when we say cash, we just mean that you have to have the ability on closing to come up with the money to buy the house. That doesn't mean you're paying cash for it. It just means that because you're probably still getting a mortgage, but maybe you have enough equity somewhere else, or you have a good relationship with the bank or whatever, that you can come up with the financing. So cash just means you can come up with the money. So a lot of people don't, when I say, well, is it a cash offer? They're like, what do you mean? Like,
I don't carry around $500,000 in cash.
Yeah. So that's exactly right, though. When it comes to these offers, unfortunately, it's surprising how many people do have the ability to go in without conditions. And a lot of times, I mean, it could be good, it could be bad. I mean, you never know with certain properties as far as the inspection thing and the finance thing, A lot of times the house sale, unfortunately, again, the house sale condition can be a deterrent for the seller because, I mean, a cash offer, once they sign that offer and accept it, it's done. Their house is sold.
Right.
And you as a buyer, it's your house.
Right.
So you go in with the cash, you own the house, right? So as a seller, if you think about yourself, if you want to sell your home, somebody walks in with a really good offer that's cash, and as soon as you sign this, it's a done deal. I mean, that's pretty comforting for you because the chances are you've probably already bought a house, or maybe you have an offer on a house that is in jeopardy because you got to hurry and get yours sold, right? So there's not that many times. Well, there's maybe the older people moving like to the Oaks or something, but 85% of the homes out there, people have to go somewhere.
Right.
So they've either already sold their house or they have, or bought another house and so on, right? So these are the kind of things. So once we open all these offers up, some people say, oh, well, can you go back and forth with the two highest offers or these kind of things? Well, typically that's not what happens. So if we get two offers, normally one or two offers kind of come to the top, right? Float to the top. So you'll look at the two offers and you'll say, okay, well, there are times where those two offers are so close together that the seller can't really decide which one do I take. So there are times where we will send them both back.
By the way, I'm getting excited right now. I feel like I am the seller and that this process is happening right now, just so you know. So
we can actually make you a seller.
No,
as you know, we sold another one on your road.
Yeah. My wife says, no, I'm not allowed to sell.
So I got to work on Kelly then.
Okay. Okay, so keep going. Sorry. There, but I'm just like, I am following, like I'm there.
So there's times where you'll send it back to both buyers. Now, you cannot counteroffer two offers because some people say, okay, so we'll just use some fictitious numbers. Sure. So, the offer is $300,000. You got two offers, both at $300,000, both at, maybe both have finance conditions and both have within the same closing date. So now they say, well, which one do I take? Well, I can't decide. So it's not like you can say, okay, well, let's counter this guy back at, 310 and this guy at 310. No, you can't do that because you can't sell your house twice.
Right.
So what you have to do is you say, all right, I'm going to send both these offers to the buyers. I'm going to send them back and just say, listen, your offers were the top two, but they couldn't decide on which one. Would you like to change anything in your offer? So now you're the buyer. So you realize, okay, well, I know that I offered $300,000 with a finance condition when the closing date of October 15th. And you can then say, well, I have to have a finance condition in there. So obviously, your offer was all pretty close to the same offer as the other guy. It might have been identical. So then you can say, well, I can't waive my finance, but I'm going to give him an extra 10 grand. I'm going to say, all right, I'll give you 310. And that's what I'll do. The other guy, let's say he comes in and says, well, you know what? I'll take my chances. I'm going to waive my finance, but I'm going to stick at the 300. So then they bring them back. So that's not a counteroffer. That's just saying, do you want to change? Or maybe you say, no, I'm not changing. I came in with my best shot. I'm not changing. You bring them back. That's when they look at them again and they say, okay, let's take the 300 cash, or you know what, for 10 grand, we'll take a chance on the financing. So some people think that we would go to one and say, okay, will you do, give me 305, and he says yes, and then you come back and say, oh, buyer 2, hey, give me 310. That's not what we do. That's not how it works, right? And the other thing that I stress to people is that, again, I'm not saying it's easy, but you really just have to go in with your best foot forward, paying what you're willing to pay. And I always use the example with my buyers. I say, listen, what would you be willing to pay? And they tell me. And then I say to them, all right, so if I call you an hour after the house got sold and I say, hey, you know what? Sorry, another offer got accepted for $5,000 more than you offered. If at that moment you think, oh, well, I would have paid $5,000 more. Well, now's the time to pay the $5,000 more ahead of time. If you say, well, that's fine, I'm willing to pay $300. Yeah, I'm willing to pay $300. If I get it for that, I'm great. If not, somebody wants to pay more, go ahead. Yeah. So, again, I'm not trying to make it sound easy on the buyer, because it's not, but it is what it is. There's nothing much we can do about it in this market. Mm-hmm. We just have to try to make it work the best we can, and that's the way we at Riverside, that's the way we handle these offers.
And I kind of like as much as, if I was a buyer, I wouldn't want to go into what, you could call a bidding war, right?
Right.
But what I do like about your system is that, sometimes you go away on the weekend, and then all of a sudden, if you just take the first offer that hits your mark, I go away for the weekend, I come in on Monday, and I'm like, I didn't even know that house was for sale. I would have paid more. And if you went over to the buyer and said that, I would have paid more for that house, but I didn't know it was for sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can see then why you want to have a week of time for people to see what's out on the market. Then they can make their numbers so that they don't miss an opportunity.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, with and this is another reason, if we go back to last week's show about reaching out to your realtor and get a good realtor that's keeping you informed. But it's nice, actually, even if a buyer knew about it, but maybe the guy is on 4 12-hour shifts or whatever, they're on holidays or whatever it might be. Now it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to drop everything. It's not a panic. I'll go in on Saturday morning, or I'll go in, this day and this day. Oh, I have time to actually call my bank just to clarify. It gives you a little bit of breathing space. And at the end of the day, you're selling a property, you're the seller, and the seller are the ones that drive the ship here, right? We tell them the options, and they decide what's the best way for them. Right. And at the end of the day, you're selling your home. You want as much as possible. And right now, the best way to get the most out of your home is to do it this way. And it doesn't work every time. There are times where it doesn't work. And the other thing I stress to sellers, some sellers will say to me, okay, well, let's hold offers for 2 weeks. No, that's a mistake, because buyers fizzle out. So 5-6 days, in my opinion, is enough. Any longer than that is too long.
Right.
Because I have had it myself where buyers showed a property, they're all excited, and then 3 or 4 days goes by, 5 days, 6 days, and then they fizzle out, right? You know what it's like buying anything, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you fizzle out. So there's a fine line, and the other thing about it is listing your property at the right price, using again, local realtor that knows the market. Any one of our agents in our office, there's been a lot of houses sell in Wallaceburg and get listed. Although we need more, but we know the market. We can give you the good advice to say, this is what you should list for. This is what you should do. Right. Most people are very good and do listen to us because it's been working well. So,
good. All right. He's Pete Allaer from Riverside Realty. We'll take a little bit of a break in the action here and play a song, and then we'll talk a little bit about the legal side. We've got the Anderson Law Group in with us again this week, so we'll chat with Lindsay Anderson coming up in just a few minutes here, and more from Pete Allaer on the way here shortly at 99.1 FM. 99.1 CKXS, back with the All About Real Estate show with Pete Allaer. And as we kind of wrap things up, I see that the houses that you had on last week on the program are not on the program this week.
Right. I think we had a good run, sort of the week before that program. And I want to say just about everyone that we've listed is either sold or has a conditional offer on it. So that just shows you this market and how quickly things are moving, and also it tells you as buyers how much you need to be prepared ahead of time, so that when that house does come, I mean, the days of it,
you're ready to go.
You got to go. You got to be ready to go. Bottom line.
I just want, if I can defend myself a little bit on the program today, because I've been taking quite a bit of heat from all my friends and listeners that have been asking me, why does everybody in my neighborhood want to move? I mean, there's only 6 houses in my neighborhood, and 33% of them have moved in the last month.
Exactly.
I just want people to know that not only are those people moving, but there's people that want to move in. Okay, I want to focus on the move-inners, not the ones that are moving out.
Oh, yes,
okay?
yes, that is true. That is true. We have managed to find people to buy those houses. That's how good we are. We've managed to find people to buy those houses.
Even though Greg is in the neighborhood, you've still been able to sell.
Still
those
able
houses.
to find
you
find
guys.
buyers.
Yeah, Riverside Realty. You guys are good.
Yeah, exactly.
What you want to plug a couple of houses that are?
Yeah, I just thought I would talk a little bit about just what's a couple of ones we still have that haven't sold, and they're now a couple of them are a little higher priced. We still have available the beautiful one out on the end of the Snai on Riverside Drive, 4749 Riverside Drive on Island Mooring.
Yep.
Gorgeous place. That one's still available. I also still have the Wyoming house that's available. Been getting all kinds of hits on social media on that one. It's gorgeous. That's at 622 London Street, Wyoming. We also have another water property if you can't afford the big river but you want water, at 878 Wallace Street down by the cemetery across from the river. A nice little spot there. The other thing I thought I'd talk about is lots. So out on Tyler Drive, out just south of Brander Park by Port Lambton, just off the Parkway, we've opened up a new section in there. We've got all those lots listed, and they're anywhere from 85 to 105 or something like that, and they're all nice big lots. Nice spot there, and a lot of nice all new homes around you right off the Parkway, the river trail, Brander Park, walk to the marina. It's a great little spot there.
I love that spot there.
Yeah, it's a nice spot there. Nice lots.
We looked in that area. We were quite interested in that. I love Brander Park. I love both sides of the park, actually.
Yeah,
kind of like a little gazebo on that would be the south side of the road, and then you have Brander Park, which is beautiful.
Exactly, and you've got your walking or biking trail, and I mean it's
trail. My gosh, it's like the best biking trail around.
I think so. Yeah, I've actually talked to at the Port Lambton Shake and Bake restaurant or variety store there. I've talked to bikers, and from like these are big time bikers from all over, and I've had lots of comments saying like, wow, like this is incredible, like what a trail, like what it's smooth, it's nice, it's like paved, it's like it's a beautiful trail. And walking, when I come into work in the morning, I mean every single day, it's just it is so well utilized. There are people everywhere. There's walkers and bikers and runners and rollerbladers and young mothers like running behind their fancy strollers, and it's so cool to see because you're like, it really is a totally used area. Like even through all this COVID, Brander was always had people walking through it, and because they had a spot to go.
Correct.
It's a great. I don't know. It's to me, it's just like the best kept secret. Awesome.
That area from Port Lambton, Sombra, Moortown, Courtright, Corunna. What am I missing in there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a nice area that they have all along the big river there.
Oh, I know, and it's nice too because there's a lot of that area where you're driving right along the river, right? Like my wife and I went up to Godridge. And I said, well, it's kind of a cool drive, but there's not a lot of spots where you're actually driving along the lake. Like you really can't hardly see the lake, right? But you get down to the river, and there's so many spots where you're driving right along the river, right? It's just so cool, and you can stop and have a lunch, or it's. I mean, I'm obviously biased. I live there, but it is awesome around there.
Well, I looked there. And would move there in a minute. So it's a very nice spot there. So those are some of the spots that are available for listening to anything else you want to add in there,
the
Pete?
Other one I thought I'd just mention that we've had for sale for a little while. It's down here on James Street. It's the old Roxy's location where Roxy's was, 750 James Street. So the gentleman that owns that, he has split it in half, and the one half he has actually completely set up as a wood-fired pizza restaurant.
Yeah.
But he never ever opened it. And then beside it would be you could rent that out as whatever you want, just built to suit sort of thing. But that's available. And I mean, if anyone out there is thinking of wanting to get in the restaurant business, it'd be a cool. It's actually done quite nicely. There's a wood-fired pizza place in there.
Pizza did very well through COVID. So if there is another phase, who knows, or another flare-up that happens with COVID, pizza places were a premium, and the people ordered a lot of pizza. So it'd be a safe investment.
Yeah. But that's another one that's available. So and of course, reach out to any one of our realtors. We need listings again. Like I say, things sell so quickly. So you're thinking about listing your house, selling your house, talk to one of us. We can help you. We can walk you through it. We can give you advice. We can tell you the programs out there that yield the best. And, go on to riversite.com or give our office a call at 519-627-3381. And we're here to help. We'll walk you through the whole process.
You got it. And if you live in my neighborhood, you're not allowed to list anything, okay?
Hold on.
Pete has a different thought.
Yeah.
All right, Pete, always good seeing you today from Riverside Realty. That's the All About Real Estate show for this week. We'll see you next week, okay?
Okay, thanks, Greg.